Hi, hello, this is Ahmed from FKP Institute of AI. Welcome to time series forecasting sessions. Actually, I have divided this course into three parts. In the part 1, we will go through the basics required for a time series analysis and forecasting. In part 2, we will see time series forecasting methods. In part 3, we are going to solve a lot of time series problems. We all know that time series analysis is important piece in every business, because all the business KPIs are time indexed, date indexed. Example, what is the sales last month? What is the total sales yesterday? What is the total sales in the last week? How much stock we have currently? How much required for the coming season? Okay, so all these KPIs, I have given very few examples, but all the KPIs are time indexed. So analyzing this time series data, analyzing the data which has time bounded value is essential part for every business, right? So business always wants to grow. So in this trial to grow up, business changes lot of its process. I mean, its business process will be changed. They shine the business internal business processes to save the funds and to invest more to increase the ROI. So the forecasting I have did last year, I am going to use the same numbers. No, that will not work. You need to forecast for every season. You need to forecast for every for every changing parameter in the company. Whenever there is change in the company, whenever you invest more in the business, when some outside situations are impacting our business, so looking into the time series data and forecasting further is highly important. So that's why, so learning time series forecasting as a data scientist, it's very important for us. So let's start up with time series, date and time functions which are available in Numpy and Pandas, so that going forward we will feel comfortable to make to start up with small tasks in solving time series problems, and it helps us to code easily going forward. Okay, so let's start up with time and date functions available in famous Python modules like Pandas and Numpy. And let me open my slideshow. Okay, so we know that Numpy is a package which helps us in computing a lot of numerical data. So this Numpy package is rich of date and time functions. So we will go one by one to feel comfortable, going forward for practice sessions. So I have opened my notebook. Okay, so we'll go through all these tasks, all these functions today. So to later, like, we'll continue in the next session. So the first one is like converting strings to a date. So what happens? This is very basic operation we need to do. Suppose this is the date you are giving you are assigning to a parameter A, and when you say this, it will take it as a string, right? So when you want to do the operations, when you want to do the date and time operations, you need to have same homogeneous data type. So how to convert a string into a data type, into time data type? into date data type. So this is the function date time 64. This is the function in Numpy to convert our string data into date. So now what I did, like I have given some date, and here it is. We need to give the how that string to be read. That we have to give here, like D meant for day, and M date, M meant for month, and Y meant for year. So now let's see. So I have ran this command, and it is saying A is a datetime function. So similar way you can specify, like you can specify I want to read it as a month. So it will read it as a month. Okay, it's a February 2019. I want to read this string as a year. So it will read only the year part of it. So the other one is converting strings to this is done. Now adding and subtracting days from R to the date. So this is the way we can add the dates. Suppose this is the date. I want to add 10 more days to it. So I need to say just plus how many number of days you want to add. You can just say like this. Okay. So and earlier it was 10, now it is 20. Okay. So now there is another way to do that, and there is a function called time delta. Okay, the previous function is date time, it is time delta. So here you can add dates, you can add how many days you want, how many weeks you want. You can add using this particular function, that is time delta. So I can say, like I'm at one particular date, I want to add 7 days to it. So if I add, it will showing like 17. So that the same way I can add weeks. I can add the weeks also. I can add 2 weeks. Okay, and thing that we have to observe here is we cannot add the months and years, because if you are asking to add 1 month to the date what you are giving here, it will not add, because the number of days in a month is not constant. It can be 28 days, it can be 29 days, it can be 30 or 31 days, right? So in the same way, if you are asking this function to add 1 year, it will not add, because even year also doesn't have solid number of solid number for the dates. It can be 364 or it can be 355, right? So that's why. Now you can convert strings into array. This is a function in Numpy, np.array. Okay, and so these 3 strings are converted to dates. Okay, and structured in the form of array. Okay, so what I feel is, like, what is np? Actually, I am importing a Python module here, and I am saying like import numpy as np as alias. Okay, now let's go and see the function. Like I want to display all the dates between this particular range, from February 2nd to March 2nd. I want to display all the dates here. When I say this, see, February 2nd to February 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then it is it's on. So it is basically displaying all the dates. Suppose if I want to do that the same for months, I can. I want to display all the weeks. Yeah, it will display all the weeks which are coming in between this date and the other date in the function which we are giving. So remember the function called range. So we have similar function in Pandas. It is called date range. Okay, and this particular function used to convert timestamp data. This particular function is to convert string into date time format. So you have this, then you run. So this particular string is turned into timestamp. Suppose you want to read up to seconds, you can specify this. If you say seconds, it will take up to here. 12, 12, 12. If you say milliseconds, it will take 3. If you say US, then it's ultra seconds, ultra seconds. Okay, so it will take 6 decimals after the after the seconds. Then you can say like it's like nanoseconds. Then you say nanoseconds, it will take 9 decimals. Okay. Now, if I want to add the hours, how I have added dates, months to the date, to a particular date. In the same way, I can add the hours, seconds, minutes. Okay. So here here what I am doing is like I have the timestamp. I mean I have the date here, and to this particular date I am adding 6 hours. See, earlier it was like 0 hours. Now it is 6 hours of the same date. Here is the way like to do the difference. How in Oracle we have date diff. Okay, in the same way we want to I want to do minus between the two dates. Okay, so now when I say this, it is giving me in minutes, because here I have given the data up to minutes. So it thinks that okay, so this guy wants the data out in number of minutes. If I remove this, it will give me in hours. It will give me in hours. So if I remove this, it will give me in number of days. Okay. And now another important function is how can I convert a timestamp to string. Okay, so this is the function. Think that this particular this is t is a timestamp. It has a time. It contains the timestamp value. T is a timestamp. Now I want to convert it into strings. If I say this, now this become string. This is a string. Okay, so here the unit specifies like till what part you want you want to convert it into string. So since I said second, it will take till here. If I say microsecond, it will say like let me millisecond, sorry. So it will take up to 3 digits, 3 decimals, and it will convert that part as a string. Now another important function that we use in time series is business calendar. So in Numpy we have a function called business bus day calendar holidays. Here you need to specify all your company holidays. Later you can use it wherever you need going forward. So you basically like here you need to give all the dates, all the holiday dates. Okay, so this is a week mask function. It will give like which day is the weekend and which day is weekday. You can customize it. In some countries Friday and Saturday is off, are weekends, so you can change them. Okay, later you have a few functions. Okay, so here is holidays function. So if you say like holidays, and it will go and query this business calendar, and it will show what are the days are holidays. It will ignore the weekdays. Okay, after ignoring the weekends, so whatever the dates present here, those are considered as holidays. So that's why when you run this particular function, it will display holidays. So okay, and there is a function called is business day. So when you give a date, and it will specify if it is a working day or it's a weekend. Okay, so right. So these are the functions in Numpy that we frequently use going forward in this course. Now let's go back to our slideshow. And we are going to learn some functions which are available in Pandas. Pandas, actually, it's a very good library to implement. It has, we can create data structures and functions. We can perform on numerical data and as well as on time series data. So the similar functions, whatever we have seen in the Numpy, we have the similar function in Pandas, and we'll go through them. So actually, in when we are learning time series, and we use Pandas, from the day one. Whenever you are going to implement, whenever you are going to do the time series analysis or forecasting, herefore, you are daily touching the Pandas. So having very good understanding and learning a lot of functions in Pandas will helps us to speed up our work. Okay. So converting, yeah, this is the one, like there how we have date time 64 function to convert strings into date. So similar way in Pandas we have two date time function. So if I say this, now it is saying this is a date time. This particular string is a date time data type. Okay, it's no more string. And similar way, Pandas is very intelligent. You can give some specific, some standard formats of the date. It automatically picks up. See this, I have given here slashes, and here I have given as text, Jan 23 something. But even though it has caught that as a, it has converted as a date. See here, if you are having some different formats, okay, you can specify in this particular function with the format keyword and this way. Okay, so I want to read this as a date. So even this function helps even in this case. Okay, so this is how, if we don't give square brackets, I think it is reading as a timestamp. If you use square brackets like this, it will read as date, right? It is reading as a date. Okay, so now this is the similar function what we have seen in Numpy, that is called arrange. Here it is a date range. I have given a date and I want to generate some 28 periods in the frequency of in the date frequency, in the day level. I want to generate 28 days comes after the date what I am specifying in this particular function called date range. See, it is generating all the dates. Suppose if I want to display all the weeks. Okay, so 28 weeks after the date what we have given, it will display. In the same way, I want to, so you got I guess, periods 5. I want to generate next coming 5 months. I can specify this. Okay, after March, after February, I have March, April, May, June. Okay, so it is intelligent because it is giving like actually the last days of each month, last day of each month. Okay, now yeah, this is a similar function. This is a similar function in Numpy. I have kept here like just to remind. And a very important thing is like how to make a data frame with the dates. So this is the way we need to make columns. If you have 3 KPIs, or these are related your wish, like how many columns you want in a table, that is your wish. But so since we are dealing with the time series data, the index is should be date. Okay, so I am using the date function, date. I want to display some 10 periods and the week, all the 10 weeks after this particular date. after this particular date I want to display 10 weeks. Okay, so okay, I want to generate some numbers, dummy numbers. Okay, so I want to have how many? Let me say 7 into 3. I want to have three KPIs for this particular. I mean bounded to this particular dates. And if I run this, you'll see. 1 second. 10 periods. Okay, so these are the dates. I mean after this particular date, I mean it is after this particular date, like it is generating 10 weeks. So January 3rd, 10, 17, 24, these are the weeks, right? And I want to have 3 KPIs. 3 KPIs in the sense like KPI means like that fact which is related to the business, maybe total sales or the quantity sold, something like that. Okay, so this is called a data frame. This is index column and these are the labels. Okay, so and if you want to see, and the function what I am using here is pd.dataframe. Dataframe is the function to create the tables in Pandas. And the data in the sense like whatever the dummy data you are generating, and that you need to assign. Data is a parameter in this particular data frame function. Index is a function to specify what column you want as an index. Okay, and so if it is not time series, we generally give like serial numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, like something like that. Since we are studying about time series, so our index should always be date time. And columns, like how many KPIs you want to have in this particular data frame, you need to give that list. Okay, so this is a data frame. So there are some operations which we can perform on this particular data frame. So if I say x.index, I have given the name called x, okay, to this particular data frame what I just created. If I say x.index, so these are all the index values it will give all the index values. So out of these, like which is the minimum data I have, it will give this function, your data frame dot index dot minimum. Okay, so it will give like and a week, and that to Sunday date. Okay, this is Sunday date. And now maximum. So the maximum date you have in this data frame is this particular date, and it is at this particular data frame is on the week level, and the day it is showing is Sunday. And next argmin, the position of minimum value, it will give the index value where it finds the minimum value. So the minimum value exists in the index. The minimum value exists here in the first position. So indexing starts with 0. So it will give 0. Since like it is a sorted form, this is in sorted form, it is giving like a minimum 0 and maximum is, I think it's 10. It's 9, sorry. So it will give index position where the index value is high, that particular position number it gives. I want to see like where we have the bigger value in A, in KPI. So in out of these 10 days, on what day I have the big number for the A. So you can say like it will give minimum value. I mean where you have the minimum value here. So you have the minimum value at 33. So see here, this is the minimum value. Now when I say max, sorry, not here, so here, index max, it will give the index position where this particular column has maximum value. So there is the maximum value for the maximum value in this particular column exists at the index value 2019 March 10th. Here it is the bigger value compared to all the numbers in this particular data frame. Okay, and yeah, these are the basic functions we need to know to start up with. And another important thing we are going to learn is how to read the data, how to read the time series data from a file. Okay, think like I have a file that is called the time series data file. In Pandas we have a function called read CSV to read the files from CSV. In the same way, like read XLS, you have read text, and you can even read from the JSON, and you can read from the database as well. Okay, so most of the cases when we are learning with when we are starting up with machine learning, we'll start up with the CSV, and going forward we'll see like how to use the database as a source, and we will see like how to use Excel as a source. So read CSV is the function I am going to use, and this is the file where it exists. And here when we are reading time series data, this column is must. Index column you need to specify. Okay, so let me. Okay, here is the file, and it has the date, and there is a close, end of day inventory and end of day volume. So this particular file is related to the inventory detail of some X company. Okay, so here the end of day stock. Okay, sorry, end of day price and end of day stock. We have these two KPIs are time bounded. Okay, so here since here we have to give like index column as a date. Here suppose it's a month, we need to give this particular column name there, and then we need to say parse dates. You want to parse this particular index column as a date or not. So since it is a time series, we need to parse the first column, the column which we are specifying in the here should be parsed as date. So parse dates is equal to true. Now, okay, so it has read. So our notebook has read this particular file, and it is considering date as the first column as date, and these are the this is the some details about the data what it has read, and you can see says some head, it's some sample 5 records. Okay, so this is how to read the time series data using Pandas, and let's see what I have in the other topics in this session. So resampling, it's a very important function in time series, and so we need to be very much familiar with it. So in databases we say like group by and columns, right? So group by function is really required to make to perform aggregates. Okay, so I want to see sum at the level of year. What is the okay? So I want to see what is the total. I want to see sum of this particular column at the year level. So I have 4 years then. Like I have 2015 data, 16, 17, and 18 data, and what it is doing is like it is summing up the data which belongs to that particular year. Okay, it's like a yearly aggregate, and you can use either A or Y. It will give the both result. Okay, so both results same. I want to aggregate at the month level. The which column? The first column. Okay, so if I say month, and it will give me the month level aggregated values, and I can specify mean, I can specify max in each month. Okay, max in each month. I think this is right. Doing aggregate on the sales price. Okay, when we deal with inventory. And when we have maximum stock, maximum goods, so you can in which month we have maximum goods, it will say goods in the sense like I need to change this to volume. Okay, so the the maximum stock I have in this particular month is this. Okay, so I want to see the week level stock. I mean, so how much stock I have. I mean, what is the maximum stock I maintained in a day of the in a given week. Okay, so this is the in the first week. On this particular day, we have more stock. Okay, and now let's see how to plot this data. How to plot this data. So here for plotting, we are going to use two methods. We use Pandas plotting, and other one is matplotlib. Okay, so here is my first column. It's like closing price of the goods. Closing price of the goods of that particular day, and resample we have seen just now, right? So it's aggregate function. Rule is like I want to aggregate it at the quarter level. So now how many years of data? I have 4 years of data, and each year have 4 quarters. 4 into 4, it's like 16 rows should come. So the aggregate what I am doing is like a sum aggregate. I need to plot this data from the data frame. So when I say this, okay, so this is at the level of quarter. So in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter of 2015, this is the total. This is the sum. Actually, sum is not a good aggregate for inventory. It's a max closing price. Okay, so our stock, the price of the goods is high in the latest month in 2018 and December 31st, and it has meaning like our product has a great demand in this particular month. So the previously it was in 2017 second quarter. Okay, so yeah, let's summarize what we have learned. So in this session, we have gone through date time functions which are available in Numpy and Pandas. We have seen how to convert a string into data type using Numpy, that is a date time 64 function, and how to add the hours, minutes to the date. So this particular function we have used time delta 64, and how to make some date data. So we have used how to create the arrays with the with the number of strings that we have used the np.array, and arrange is used to generate some date data, and date time as a string. This particular function we have used to convert our timestamp into string. In the similar way, like we have seen this following functions using Pandas, and this is to convert our strings to date data type, and date range to generate the dates, and index is to find out like how many distinct index values are there, like it's a month level, week level, day level, like it will specify like what are the values of the index, and what is the minimum value of the dates we have, what is the maximum value, maximum index value we have in our data frame, and argmax, it will specify the position where we have the bigger value for the index, and index minimum, and this particular function will give the position of the index where we have the minimum value for the column A. And resampling, it's very important function. This is equal to the group by function, and you can perform like min max etc., etc. And we have seen some plotting, and I mean we have plotted using matplotlib for the data, after we resample the data what we have. Okay, that's all for this particular session, and in the coming session, so we will be seeing some important functions used in time series using pandas and visualization of visualizations for those outcome of these functions. So the functions includes time shifting, it's very important in time series, and rolling, expanding, auto scaling, labeling, displaying the legend on the graph, and xlim, ylim, set minimum locator, set minimum formatter, grid. These functions we are going to learn in the session 2 of the part 1. Thank you.